Today, we are on day 5 of the Brand Alignment Challenge. I'm so excited for you to be here because we are going to be talking about one of my favorite parts of branding, and it's this. When you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. Welcome to the Heart Align Brand Podcast. I'm Leanne, your host, brand strategist, photographer, and mentor. This is a space where personal stories and business strategy come together to help you build a brand rooted in your truth. Whether you're navigating a rebrand, the entrepreneurial chaos, and still trying to hold on to who you are, or you're just simply trying to find your voice, this show is for you. I believe that branding is not just how things look, it's the person you're becoming in the process and how you make people feel. Each week, I'm sharing honest conversations, brand insights, and reflections that remind you you don't have to choose between being strategic and being authentic to who you are. As I mentioned, one of my favorite topics when it comes to branding is based on this quote: when you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. When I started my business, this was one of the biggest challenges I had because I was afraid if I got specific, I would lose business. Every business guru out there will tell you the number one branding rule is you need to have a clear understanding of who your target market is. And as small business owners, we often fall into the trap of thinking that if we speak broadly, that will bring in more business. And this just isn't the case, because when we speak to everyone, we dilute our message, we become forgettable, and we end up attracting all different types of clients who may not align with the work we want to do or even what we value in this world. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Some might point to large companies and say, well, all different types of people buy from Nike: men, women, children, non-binary folk. And that is true. However, you are not a massive company. You are a solopreneur, or maybe you have a small team of employees. And while your audience may be diverse, they're likely not as broad as Nike's customer base. What unites your customers is likely a value, a way of thinking, a way of being. And that's true for Nike. Nike saying just do it is all about empowering people to chase and go after their dreams as an athlete. I think they also touch in on like the physical space, but it comes down to professional sports and physical activity. People are flooded with content all the time, every second of the day. And if we want to stand out, we have to be very clear on who it is that we're talking to. We need to be specific and aligned. Know exactly who we're talking to and why the work that we do matters to them. When we avoid getting specific intentionally, you unintentionally start to sound like those salesmen who are in the grocery store and they're waving you down and they're saying, hey, I think you might like this service. And it's like, no, I don't want that service. Please leave me alone. I don't want to be that person. I'm going to assume you don't want to be that person. So we have to challenge ourselves, even if we're really scared, to get specific. Here's the example I want to share with you. When I decided to go all in on being a brand photographer and strategist, I made more money doing less. I niched down. I made my offer a premium offer. Now, when I say doing less, what I mean is that I got really good at creating an amazing client experience where I could focus in all of my attention and time on that client or the clients that I was working with versus being scattered and distracted and torn between all these different offers in my business that weren't ultimately serving me or the ideal client that I wanted. What did it look like to strip away and say, I'm a brand photographer and a strategist? I was no longer photographing families. I wasn't working weddings. I wasn't offering senior sessions. And I know that this can sound very arbitrary, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, Why would taking on that work for those people impact the work that you were doing when it relates to brand strategy and brand photography for your other clients? Why it dilutes and distracts it was taking from the ultimate goal of my business, because each of those different types of sessions are a different experience for the client, different energy, different focus. They have different timelines. And let's say I had one brand photography client and then I had 5 senior sessions. Don't mind this puppo in the background who's giving. He's got to get comfortable. He's an old man. I'm distracted because I'm trying to serve 5 different clients when a brand client needs more depth. They need more one-to-one experience. And so with these two competing against each other, it's diluting my impact. It's diluting the way in which I can commit to my clients and really give them an all-in experience. When we go all in, we create trust, safety with our clients because they know what the process is going to be. They know what the end result will be because you are consistent in what you are offering. By niching down into brand photography and strategy and saying this is the only type of work that I'm going to be offering, what that does is that sets me up as an expert and an industry leader. When people know exactly what you do and who it's for, it's an easier yes. You're for me. You have the thing that I want, or they can say, nope, that's not for me. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, but I offer something that is really customized for every single client. So it's going to be hard for me to name the thing that I do. In this case, what you want to focus in and highlight on is the person that you're working with and the end result that you're getting them. By getting specific on who you're working with, not so much on the offer that you are doing, this is going to create more clarity for that ideal client because they're going to be able to quickly identify, yes, I'm in the right space. This is for me. Before we get into the homework reflection of this, I want to highlight one other component of this. So when I made the decision to go all in on brand photography and strategy, I also made the decision to get really clear with my language that I serve women-owned, queer-owned businesses. And I usually teeter between women, folks, and queer, using that language kind of interchangeably because sadly, the SEO optimization stuff, the world just hasn't caught up yet. So I teeter in between those 3 words in my messaging so that it's very clear these are the type of people that I work with. Someone might look at that and say, well, you're excluding like 50% of like a demographic of people. My counterpoint to that is this. There have been multiple occasions where I have been hired by male dominated industries because there has been a woman who is the one that was in charge of hiring, and my mission and my vision resonated with them. There's also been instances where a man has been the one that's hiring and has resonated with my mission and vision and made the decision to hire me, to click that button and contact me for that reason. Specificity is the secret little magic wand that says, come on in or see you later. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that is a good thing because what that does is that allows people to have the power of choice, the freedom to say yes or no. And isn't that what we want? We want people to be psyched and excited and ready and pumped to work with us. So to sum this up, you're not for everyone, and that is a good thing. Okay, here is your homework. What is your number one service that you want to offer, and who is it for? This is going to take some digging, a little sleuthing, my new favorite word, to figure out which one of your offers is the offer that lights you up the most, and then to get very clear on who your dream client is. If you're in the midst of, you've had a lot of different types of clients and you're not really sure what each one of them have in common, think about what are traits that each one of them had that you really enjoyed. Take those and put those into an imaginary person. And when you create copy, when you're speaking, when you're thinking about your brand, you're going to be speaking to that person, those traits, all of that that makes up this imaginary person. That's who you're going to speak to. If you still feel a little stuck on your number one offer and who it's for, think about, what do you want to be known for and who needs it most? Once you've had time to reflect on these 2, 3 questions, refine your offer, refine your niche or your target audience, and then make sure that your messaging is speaking directly to that person. A really good sentence stem for this is, I help, or name of your business helps, ideal customer do what is the problem that you are solving so that, and then what is the solution? This is going to help you get clear. And I will put that sentence stem in the show notes. Getting specific can feel scary, but I promise it will attract the right people. Being specific about who you serve pays off, not just in your marketing, but also in how aligned you feel with the work that you are doing. So again, let me reiterate this. If you aren't offering a specific job or service, like I do, brand photography, brand strategy, then you want to get specific with the person that you serve, the type of person, the traits of that person, and you want to speak to that in your messaging. In a world where you have both, that can be really good because then it signals safety to people, especially whenever you are selling a premium service, a premium product, a premium offer. As always, remember, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I hope you had insight from this. And remember, you've got this dang thing.